I asked Andy and Marco like whether this could be the next thing that we teach to the group. I know personally, like through the coaching that I've done and different businesses I'm involved with, that what I'm going to show you now really makes a difference. So we've titled this, getting the cheapest visibility and traffic with Facebook video view ads. What it is, it's really using a video medium and being able to automate a lot of your social media. I'll show you later on, like you can be doing posting every day and all that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, that is still the best way to do it. But if you're like me and if you're like these other two guys, you probably got a fair bit of things on your plate. And so you might not necessarily be able to be doing that organic social every day. So what we're going to show you is how to take a couple pieces of awesome, really helpful content and then push it out to hundreds of thousands of people for very small amounts of money, like a couple $100, couple $1,000. It really, what we're showing you here works out as 1, 2, or 3 cents per video view. This is the cheapest way that I know to get visibility and awareness in 2019 and beyond. So it's really cool. It's also amazing for your branding, your positioning, whether it's your personal brand or whether it's your company brand. In reality, there's never been a better time in history than sort of right now for you to hit a global marketplace. Like what Marco was just talking about, with hitting Spanish, hitting all the English speaking, you literally can hit a global marketplace very cost effectively. So let's get stuck into it. If you've got questions, please write them in the chat, and then Marco and Andy will flick those to me at the end, and we'll stick around for as long as you want, as long as you need. We're here for you to answer that. So I've tried to make it pretty simple, but if you've got questions, by all means, put them in, and we'll go for it with that. Awesome. So a lot of you know me, but not everyone. So my name's Greg Kasser. I'm a partner in Advertising Boost. I also run another business called Rainmaker Partner. And yeah, basically I'm a digital marketing profit strategist, long track record of success now. I'm based out of Byron Bay in Australia, so doing the full lifestyle by design stuff. But when it really, you don't care about me, you care about getting results in your business, and I get that. So let's move on. Alrighty, let's start with some facts. This is really about like getting your media out into the marketplace and what really needs to happen. So the first thing is that most new traffic doesn't know you or your brand. Like it'd be lovely to say, that we're Apple or whatever, and everyone already knows who we are and what we do, but that's not the case. So we do need to get our message out, and we need people to, ultimately to know, like, and trust us. So most new traffic needs multiple touches with you or your brand before they know, like, and trust you and ultimately follow you. Later on, we're going to talk about remarketing, which another word for it is retargeting, and I'll explain that simply. But what it allows us to do is if they've had one interaction with your brand, to then for you to integrate, like to bring in multiple interactions with your brand. So it's going to be very powerful. The third thing is that most traffic won't do what you want them to do at every stage. So this is like a picture. I don't know if anyone's remembers Lemmings, the game. It probably shows my age a little bit here. I'm 44 now. Lemmings was a game like these little guys, they keep falling off the cliff. So you had to kind of stop them and then send them back in the right direction. I'm going to show you sort of how we do that. And number 4 is we need them coming back, and we need to do that cost effectively. So I've got here the boomerang, which is an Australian Aborigine thing where you throw it and it comes back. So this is what I'm talking about with we're going to need multiple touches with these people and with the brand. And number 5 here, we need to figure out what they really want and then give it to them, and ultimately to capture attention and then ultimately leads and sales. And the last one here is like we need a systematic way of warming up traffic. So someone who's never seen you before would be like cold traffic. Someone who is already interested in your products and services, knows you, likes you, trusts you, they would be warm traffic. So we need a system from taking them from never even seeing you to knowing, like, and trusting you and ultimately wanting to do business with you. That's what this is really about, and it's very powerful. And this was something that I learned from Frank Kern. Frank Kern was my marketing coach for a while, and was like really like put helpful marketing out into the world. And this is Frank's quote, which was, show them you can help them by actually helping them. So what we're going to do here is we're not going to go straight in for the sale all the time. Everyone wants to go straight in for the sale all the time, but in reality, like if you think back over time, even with like crops, that kind of thing, you need to be able to plant seeds that you're going to harvest later. So I'm going to ask for a little bit of patience in this model that I'm going to show you. It's not necessarily a cash spewing machine on day one. It's really about building a long-term strategic business and yeah, building what I would call like intrinsic value in your brand, that whole know you, like you, trust you type thing. So if you're just doing a hobby business and you don't really care about the long game, then this may not be for you. But if what you're doing is long-term strategic and you're willing to plant some seeds now to harvest them in the medium to longer term, then this is brilliant for you. And this will really, really lay out a great roadmap and the way forward. So we spoke about content, and really, like, we do need to be putting out valuable content into the world so that we do become that, top of consciousness. People know us, like us, trust us, and they associate us with that thing, whatever the thing is that you do. And if you look at across the advertising boost group, there's like hundreds of different industries and specialties. So if you need to put out valuable content, you could do it like what a lot of big social media experts propose that you do, which is, the hustle type thing of, making sure that you're posting to Instagram and Facebook and, all these places every day. And don't get me wrong, like I said before, that is the best way as far as if you want to build a real following, there is no better way than that. That is awesome. But chances are you've got a few things on the go, you're busy. What about if you just planned, like built a system so that we figured out like what are the main things our market really, really wants? How could we put out really, really valuable, really, really helpful content on those things and then automate it, amplify it by pushing, say, 6, 8, 10, maybe even up to 20 awesome pieces of content out that are just going out to a massive audience. So you're not having to do it every day. And you're literally doing it for 1, 2, or 3 cents per view. I personally do the latter. I also, in different things, like I have a content team that does stuff for me, but me personally, I don't have time for it. So that's why I do this. Exactly what I'm going to show you right now. And this has really, really transformed businesses. Like one guy came to mind just then, and he may even be on the call. A gentleman called Paul, who I coached. He was in his day job, and then I taught him this strategy that I'm about to show you through. And then, like within his first year, he's a property buyer's agent, so helping people to buy investment properties, that kind of thing. Within his first year, within 3 months, got out of his day job, and then within his first year, got up to like nearly 100 grand a month, and then from that went on to become BRW, which means it's like a business review weekly, like fast 100 type business growth within this country and within Australia. So what I'm showing you really, really does work. We've also used it in a whole bunch of other areas, whether it's like, for example, gym owners, health experts, in sales, in marketing, business experts. It doesn't really matter. You can just apply your market or your niche to this and plug it into this system that we're going to go through now. We spoke a little bit about this before. Be prepared to plant now and harvest later. It doesn't even have to be a long harvest. Like the harvest can be 40, like in the next 14 days, in the next 30 days, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. It's just not, this is just not like we're putting money in today and we're going to spit out money today. So yeah, just think a bit more medium to long term. And I call this patient direct response marketing. So in some ways, kind of like we're planting seeds, like in that example before, or we're doing like a setup that then builds into a close later. So I have this example here from the lions and the zebra, probably not the most politically correct example, but it's nature in reality, and I'm probably not the most politically correct guy anyway, to be honest. So if you've ever been in Africa and you watch the lions, some of them will push like what they call their prey, further over, and then there's others are waiting, and then they pounce. And I'm not suggesting that you pounce, but what I'm saying is that you might need to do some campaigns like your video views that are just doing good value, and they're effectively doing that setup or that push, and then later on we're going to add in our remarketing, which will then do like the pounce or in this case a conversion, so a lead or a close. So it's patient direct response marketing. So this was really like a massive game changer that came out a couple of years ago now, and we've been using it ever since it did, which is called Facebook video view ads. So you can see here in this example, like 63,000 video views, cost per view of 3 cents per view, which is actually an inefficient example. The average we're probably getting is 1 or 2 cents, right now. So there, in that case, we spent $1,987 to put our message in front of 146,000 people, and 63,000 people watched the video, which is like for 10 seconds. Oh, in this example, it looks like it was an older one of 3 seconds, but now they've changed it to a standard of 10-second video view. This is probably an older screenshot. But anyway, what you can see is that for a very, very small amount of money, you can put your message in front of a massive audience. So if you think about traditional TV advertising, very inefficient, and I'll explain why. Traditional TV advertising, you're putting your market out broadcast. So say you've got a gym, say you've got whatever type of business, you're pushing it out to everyone and then hoping to just reach the right people. Whereas this is kind of like modern TV ads, but we're only going to push it to the exact right laser targeted people who are the exact right age and the exact right demographics, who've got the exact right interests. And rather than like a TV play where it's like, okay, here's 20 grand worth of ads and let's see how it goes. Here, you're only paying, 1, 2 or 3 cents a view to put it in front of the right people. So if it's my 10 grand, I know which one I'm going to do for sure. Even if it's my $1,000. The good thing about this is you can get started for a couple $100 and see how you go. So very, very powerful video view ads. And don't worry if you don't know how to do this right now. We're going to go exactly into that. And also in the new members area, we'll make sure that we put the PDF guides as well. So like the PDF of this, so you can literally look back at say, hey, where was Greg's screenshots? And he clicked there, he did that, then he did that. So it doesn't matter if you don't get it all. In like literally a week or two, we'll have those in there and you'll be able to just literally follow along like the bouncing ball to do this stuff. All right, so we've got a bit of an ads plan here. So first of all, we're going to warm up traffic and we're going to build an audience. So we're going to have video view ads that are driving traffic to helpful content, and we'll look at that at the moment on the blog. And then ultimately, we really want to get them onto lead magnets, which is just something in exchange where they're giving their details in exchange for whether it might be a guide or a report, it could be an inquiry form, anything like that, or getting them onto sale. And then ultimately, what we're doing is we're building an audience, say of those 50,000 people or those 100,000 people who've watched our video. Facebook's actually building an audience of those people for you, and I'm going to show you how you can get that, how you can get those people, and how you can then be able to market to them again. So that's where we're like taking our audience from the video viewers, and we're going to show them remarketing ads, and we're ultimately going to convert them. So it's kind of like a two-step type thing. But the actual process we're going to break down into 3 steps. So the first thing is we're going to start with getting a video onto your YouTube and onto your blog, and we're going to look at how we're going to choose what the content is for that. We're also going to then look at, the second step is, okay, now how do we create a post for it, and how do we create a video view campaign for that, for those low-cost traffic. And then the third one is we're going to look at, okay, well now that we've built that list of 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 people who've been watching our videos, how do we now get those, show those folks ads that we're going to convert? So that's kind of like the 3-step process. So let's get into number 1, which is getting our video onto YouTube and also onto our blog. Okay, so you'll notice here that I'm not saying number 1, let's drive them to our landing page, or number 1, let's drive them to our order form. We're actually, remember, we're going to do that. We're going to show them that we can help them by actually helping them first. That's what this is, really about. I learned this technique called the magic wand technique from some business coaches of mine, Andrew and Daryl Grant. And what it's talking about is, rather than giving people what you think they want, it's like kind of like if you could wave a magic wand and give them anything that they want, what would it be? So I think that's just like a really, really powerful technique. So if you could wave a magic wand, give them anything they want, what would it be? So I mainly work in business growth stages. I'm a growth hacker. So like my folks would want, more traffic, more leads, more sales, more profit. Okay, those are kind of I would call like categories or verticals, and you obviously this would be different for your market. And then on that, before we actually get into content, and you'll notice like we're not going straight into writing ads, we're actually doing, you know, stopping and strategic planning. And I really learned that as an architect. I used to be a proper geek, or I still am a proper geek, I guess, but I was an enterprise architect, so I used to design computer networks for banks and insurance companies and all that kind of stuff. And there was a guy there, Keith, and I was hassling him because he was staring out the window and he didn't look like he was doing anything. And he said, no, you don't understand. Like, the most powerful activity you can do is to stop and to think. And I didn't really get it at the time, but I did later, you know, as I evolved and sort of matured and that kind of stuff. And that's why also to this day, every quarter now, so every 3 months, I lock myself away, like at a cabin by the beach or whatever, for a couple of days. No one else, just me. And I stop and I think and I plan stuff, and amazing stuff comes out of it. I figure out a whole bunch of things just to get rid of your to-do list and do stuff. So long way of saying stop and think, and then figure out what do they want. And then once you know what they want, then we need to prepare that content. And I really do it with post-it notes. So I'm going to record a video. I might so say for example, remember we had traffic, leads, sales, and profit. So those were our headlines. And then from that, it's like, okay, well, what's our subject going to be on the traffic one? And then what are our points going to be? These are the sort of 4 or 5 points that we're going to hit. This, you don't need to jot these down. I'm just showing you how I plan out content, so that then when I go to record a video, it's like, okay, so this video is about the best return on investing traffic source, and then these are the 4 or 5 points that I want to hit within it, you know, that kind of thing. So that's like, we're just planning out the content at the moment. So on this, so this is kind of a little bit different to SEO, search engine optimization, where you might really want to be doing research about what search terms are coming up the most and all that kind of stuff, so that you can really try and rank for those big pages when we put it on the blog. You can definitely do that as well. Here, I was really focused on just being the most helpful to my market. What do they really want? And so SEO, search engine optimization, was a secondary. But if you can combine the two together, you know, good on you, and that's awesome as well. So then we've done our magic wand. We know what they want. We've planned out our content, and then we've got to shoot the video and we've got to edit it. So often the way we'll shoot video is using a digital SLR. In this example here, we've got 2, but often just 1. And then the secret sauce with that, so this is the exact setup. I've put in here the exact setup that I use to make that easier. I use a camera called a Canon EOS 700D. This costs a couple $100. It's not an expensive bit of kit. The secret sauce though is that lens. So see that Canon lens EF 50mm. So what that does is it focuses on you and it blurs the background. And that gives it a more professional look and feel. So just using that lens will make a massive difference. All of a sudden, it looks like you've had a professional video guy or girl come in to shoot your video for you. And that way, you don't have to go off and do expensive video shoots all the time to churn out content. And then obviously a lapel mic, you know, condenser lapel mic that just plugs into the camera and makes a really, really good sense as well. So this is how I do it. But there's no reason why you can't be using your iPhone or any smartphone to be doing it. And I think the apps and things that are on there and the cameras are getting better and better and better as well. So there's absolutely no reason why you can't do that. And in some ways it's better because you can churn it out quicker if you're using the smartphone. So if you're doing a lot, I'd probably do it that way. What I do is I plan content and then I batch it together. So, okay, so this morning we're going to make these 6 or 7 videos, and then I've got videos, you know, planned out. Or every time I speak on stage, I then get the video from that and I splice it up and I reuse it, you know, that kind of thing. So anyway, this is how we shoot content. This is James. He runs I think James might be on the call too. He runs a software as a service business in the mechanical space. A very, very sharp guy. We helped him with this approach. When James started working with us 3 years ago, in this case, this SaaS, software as a service, was a startup. And then now 3 years down the track, he is the biggest software as a service in his marketplace. And one of the biggest things we did was by acquiring a database, in this case mechanics, and then putting video view ads in front of them. They had no idea about this. They'd never heard of this mechanical software as a service called workshop software before, and then they start seeing it over and over again. When they've had multiple touches, then they might go along and inquire or take his free trial, that kind of stuff. So, but in this case, James planned out his content, doing just like what we spoke about, and then he got a video guy or girl, in this case, Joyce, video lady, came in for one morning and churned out his content. So that's like how he did that. Then you edit you need to edit the video. So I use ScreenFlow. I'm on a Mac. A lot of people use Camtasia. If you remember last web class, we also showed you how to make videos using Animoto. That works great as well. And often what we're trying to do is you want to get like a headline on the video or the text on there, because if it's going to show up in the news feed, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, chances are they're not going to be listening to you initially. They're going to be reading it. So that's where you want to get that stuff happening. And you might need two edits of the video. Landscape, so 720p, which is 1280 by 720, so 1280 wide by 720 high for YouTube. And then 1080 by 1080, or it can be 1024 by 1024, either will work, which is a square one. You can see that example here, where it's got like the headline and it's got the wording underneath. And that wording underneath, you can edit that in, or you can have Facebook do that for you. If you do have Facebook do it for you, you've just got to be careful and read it and make sure that it actually matches up. Don't just trust them, because they may put Chinglish on there, so which is kind of like doesn't quite make sense. And so why we do these square videos, and I don't think I've got my phone here, but if you imagine a phone, and this isn't a phone, it's a calculator, but if the square video takes up more space on it rather than the landscape, which takes up less space on it. So that's why we want to do square videos. And if you want to push it to Instagram, it needs to be less than a minute. There's ways around it, but as a general rule, it needs to be less than a minute. Often what we'll do is in the ad copy, like for these video view ads, we might have a square video that's less than a minute, and then it says to see the full video, click over and you see it on the video blog now. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So that way you're just giving them a teaser of it. You might have the best bits in there, and then they click over and they watch the whole couple-minute video. And you'll see in a moment why we want them to go over to our content. And you notice this ad, it's really like we're just trying to give them value. We're trying to give them content. We're not trying to sell them anything. So we want to send them over to a blog post that has the video on it, and then it has calls to action. So you can see here there's that learn more call to action, and then that inquire now call to action. So it's not wasted, you know, like even if we send people to our website, if we build calls to action in, then it's going to be very, very effective. And also remember, we're going to be able to do remarketing, which means show ads to people who've taken action before. And so we're going to be able to do remarketing ads to people who have hit the website, and also remarketing ads to people who've been watching our videos. And all that will come together sort of over the next 20 minutes. So we've planned our content. We've turned it into a video. We've put the video on the blog that has a good call to action in it. We get the video transcribed. So there's services like Temi, T-E-M-I, or speechpad.com, and they'll very, very cost effectively get your video transcribed. If you then if you edit that wording and put it below the video, that'll help for your SEO, search engine optimization. And often what I'll do is insert images in there as well, so that it's, you know, really building out a good blog post. If you want to see examples, you can see either on collective.com.au or rainmakerpartner.io. Both of those have blogs, and you can see examples of where we put the headline, the video, this calls to action. We've got it transcribed, and then we've inserted images in. So that would be examples of where you could see that. Yeah, so that's what we do then from a content point of view. This is kind of off on a tangent, but so it's not got to do with our Facebook video view ads, but I want you to get the maximum impact out of your content. When you go to the effort of creating one bit of content, ultimately you want to get more use out of it. So here, you would then want to send an email broadcast to your list as just a give. So it's just value, So here, want more leads, or you're fishing with the right hook. They click on that and they go over to your video blog. And then if it's a good piece of content, you might also want to put it in your nurture sequence. So if they've opted in, for whatever lead magnet, the thing you're giving away. You may then want to give them, what we do here is like, and I can go into this in much deeper later on, like how to, in a future web class about how to nurture leads, etc. But yeah, like give, ask, you know, that kind of thing. So give awesome value on the video blog, give awesome value on the video blog, give awesome value on the video blog, and then you might say, hey, do you want a hand with that? Or do you want to grab this? You know, that the compliments of that kind of stuff. But the main thing is we just always want to be cool about what we're doing, and we always want to put more value out into the world than asking. So we've got good reputation and just good energy about us. And that way we're playing a good long game as well. And this is yeah, very automated. All right, cool. So that's kind of like the first step, which is really just our setup. So then we're moving into the second section, which is really what you wanted to learn, which is Facebook video view ads for cold traffic. I like this picture of this dude. He's obviously into his video. He's obviously into his fashion, and I think he's quite health conscious there as well, with the ciggy, the ciggy out of the mouth, and the yeah, the big hairy gut. All right, so Facebook video view ads for cold traffic. So what we're going to do, you know, when you create ads in Facebook, and I guess we've got people here who are quite ninja level, and we've got people here who are quite beginner. So I'll try and cater a little bit for everyone. But when you create a Facebook ad, you can create a post on your fan page and use on your business's fan page and use that as an ad, or you can create an ad within Facebook Ads Manager. But in this case, what we actually want to do is post the video to our fan page. And the reason why is because, and this actually ties in with the way that Facebook works right now, they reward you if you've got more likes, comments, shares, that kind of thing on your ad or on your post in this case. Then that's a signal to Facebook that people like this and it's a quality ad. If your ad has no likes, comments, shares, any of that kind of thing, then they're kind of thinking that people don't like it. It also, when you put up any kind of video, people are going to write comments underneath it, and I'm probably not the only one that's ever seen a negative comment on an ad or on a post. So by putting them on your fan page, it actually makes it much, much easier to moderate, so you can get rid of those negative comments from the trolls and the haters out there. I have no idea why anyone does that, but there's millions and millions of people that do. All right, so we're going to create a post to your fan page. So I normally like navigate to my fan page, and then I'll go like business.facebook, you know, so we want the business version of it. It doesn't really matter. And then we're going to go create a photo or video, and we're going to upload our video. So then this is kind of an older screenshot. You can see it's landscape when I told you to do square. It should definitely be a square one. It's just literally an older screenshot. I've just meshed a couple of things together to get it done on time for you. So you can see we're uploading the video. So the important point here is we're not embedding a YouTube video, because that won't work. We've got to upload the video onto Facebook. Facebook doesn't want people going away to YouTube. And then we write some content. So you can see that language I use there. Check out this video, check out this quick video, and see the full blog post here. And then we're linking them back over to our blog. And then so how it looks and plays, like just looks like a normal post, and might have the writing underneath. And again, it would be a square one, but that's an older screenshot. But once we've done that, it doesn't have the learn more button underneath it, which we really want that if we're going to do the ad. So then what we need to do to get the learn more button below it is we need to do a boost. So if you look on your fan page, you'll see that boost post button below it. And I think a lot of people have done that, are familiar with this, but I'll run through it. You click boost post, and then it'll give you the option, you know, what's your objective? And we want video views, like we just want to put it in front of as many people as possible. And then we want to choose the button of learn more, so that people have got something to click on to go over to your video blog. And then we give it the link of where we want them to go, and we give it an audience. And the audience doesn't really matter that much here as it does in your ads, because you're only going to spend a couple of dollars on it. And so it's just really putting it in front of, you know, the right folks. And then, yeah, it's literally like here in this example, I spent $10 on it and it's going to push it to 1,400 people, and I click boost. But all I did here was all I've done is I've made a video post and I've got a learn more button below it by doing boost. And then, so that's the first bit we need to do. We've now got our post that we're actually going to use as an ad. So next we need to create a video views ad campaign. So we go into Ads Manager in Facebook and we click that big green create button to create a new campaign. And then here where it says choose your objective, we need to choose video views. Okay, so video views means show my ad to as many people as possible for as low a cost as possible. That's what this is all about. So we choose video views there, and then we give it a name. So I've just called mine demo because I was just putting something together for you guys. We give it a budget. See that setting there, campaign budget optimization? In our team, we're changing all our campaigns over to that. It gives you two main benefits. Number one is when you're at the campaign level, you can see how much you're spending on each campaign versus it being all down in the ad sets. And then the other real main benefit is, say for example, you know, like a campaign has ad sets within them, which are logical chunks of targeting and ads, that kind of thing. And you might have more than one of those. And if one's going really well and one's not going as well, Facebook learns that and it sends more traffic to the one that's doing well. So that's why you want to have campaign budget optimization set. So bid strategy, lowest cost, because remember we want those 1, 2, and 3 cent video views. If something's getting up to about 5 cents a video view, I would probably can it. It means that it's missing the mark. It's not an exact match. You really want 1, 2, and 3 cent video views. We continue there, and then we got to go up, set up our ad set. So we might want to say, okay, well, who are these folks? Like, where are they located? So here I've said in the US, and they might be 23 to 55, and they're either a male or a female. And then we want to give them, so targeting. So that's where, like, in this case, I chose digital marketing, but you might put in digital marketing, business owners, entrepreneurs, you know, who is it? And that these people exactly are, or what are they interested in, or what famous books, or what other experts within the industry, that kind of thing. You're actually trying to build a large audience. You really want this audience to end up a couple million people so that it doesn't show to the same people over and over again. So like 1 million, 3 million, 5 million, even more people would be ideal for the size of the ad set. Okay, so you can add in multiple targeting, multiple interests there, and then we need to edit the placements. And placements is talking about, okay, well, where do we want to place our ads? Where do we want them to show? For video views, really we just do news feed, so Facebook feed and also Instagram feed if you've linked up with Instagram. If you know your videos are going to be more than a minute all the time, don't worry about the Instagram feed, just go with Facebook. But ideally you want a bit of both. And then we need to choose like a budget and a schedule. So this through play is the best option. The second best option would be 10-second video views, but I just keep it with the default. So they're trying to get you 15-second video views or 10-second video views, you know, that kind of thing. We're aiming for lowest cost, and that's pretty much it. So we don't need to change anything else on those settings. And then when we've created a campaign, we've created an ad set, and then next we need to add in a post, so add in an ad. So here you can see where it says like create ad or use existing posts. So what we want to do is we want to always choose use existing post. Remember we created that post before, so we want to use that one. And then we make sure our fan page is chosen. It says select post. So we click that button, and then it'll bring up posts that we've done recently, like so on our fan page. So we choose one of those, and then we go continue. It'll show you what it looks like and what it feels like, and then you just basically review and approve it. And so if you then want to, you know, that first bit we did about how to create the campaign and how to create the ad set, you don't need to do that every time. You sort of do that bit once, but then this piece here about, you know, create ad, use existing posts, select post. If you then added a second video in on your fan page, this is how you might then want to go and add other videos into your video views. It's not uncommon for us to have 10, 15, 20 video posts in our video views campaign, because this video might go really, really well, but that video might be a miss, you know what I mean? No one really responds to it. So often what we'll do is we'll cull out the ones that have got like 5-cent views or not many views, and we'll populate them with more of the 1, 2, and 3 cent views that people are really responding to. So that's how it works as far as, and like this thing is, it's incredible. This is the cheapest way to put your message in front of, in front of a massive audience. There is no cheaper way to do it on the internet than this right now. And it has to be video in order to do that. So that's kind of like, now we've like planned out our content. We've put video content on the blog. And then from that, we've then made a video post, and then from that, we've made a video view ads campaign. And we've now got people watching our videos from this large audience. And then remember, Facebook is keeping track of everyone who watches it. And then so now we want to do ad remarketing, or another word is retargeting, to get video viewers coming back and ultimately converting. There's multiple strategies here. A more advanced one as well is like if they've watched one video, you can remarket them to a pool of videos so they have multiple touches with you. That's a bit more complicated, so I didn't worry about that for now. What I'm talking about here is when they've watched one or more of your videos, then let's start showing them ads for other stuff. So that's what this is. So we're talking about here in the first example, if they hit your website, then we're going to show them ads. So here they've hit rainmakerpartner.io, and then we're starting to show them, these ads. And then like for different lead magnets, etc. And then here, if they watch your videos on Facebook, then let's show them ads as well. So we're building lists or audiences. They're actually invisible lists. You can't see them, but they're there within Facebook, because Facebook doesn't share with you exactly who watched your video, but you might be able to see that 12,000 people have watched those videos, that kind of thing. So yeah, these are the two audiences we're going to target. So Facebook's already collecting the list of people, but we've got to kind of define them. So what we do is from within Ads Manager, you go up to the menu, and then you go down to audiences. And we choose audiences, and then we want to go create an audience, and it's a custom audience. That's the type of audience we want to create. So the first one, if we're trying to collect, okay, who visited our website, and now we're going to show them ads, because remember, like, we've been driving traffic over to the blog. So we want to show these folks ads. And the good thing is, when they see this ad now, they know, like, and trust you. And like, so for example, if you look at Advertising Boost, the cold traffic ads don't actually do anywhere near as well as the remarketing ads. So most of the heavy lifting is done by the remarketing ads. So that's where this is, really, really important, and it'll probably be the same for your business as well. So we choose website traffic, and then we're saying, okay, include any people who visited our websites, and you can get as specific as you want. It could be this page and not that page, or it could be just this website, that kind of thing. And then it could be in the last 30 days, the last 14 days, the last 7 days. You just really got to think about your sales cycle and what's right for you. So here we've built an audience of anyone who's visited Advertising Boost in the last 30 days, and that's a remarketing audience. But remember, there was two lots. We were going to now build an audience of people who visited our website, and we're now going to build an audience of people who've watched our videos on Facebook. So now we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to go to audiences, and we're going to go a custom audience. But this time we're going to say we're going to use the source of video. So we're saying, okay, well, like, we could choose people who watched at least 10 seconds of our video, 25%, 50%, 75%, 95%, that kind of thing. So you can actually be as sophisticated or as simple as you want. You can treat people who watched 25% of your video one way and people who watched 95% of your video another way, that kind of thing. But you don't have to. Like in this example, I think I've chosen people who watch at least 10 seconds of your video, and then it says choose videos. So then we've got to click on that, and we go through and we tick the different videos that we want. We're saying, hey, if they've watched these videos, show me an audience of those if they've watched them for 10 seconds. And then we call this, video viewers 10% in the last 30 days. So now we have an audience of people who visited our website. We now have an audience of people who have been watching our videos. So we then, remember, remarketing is like, okay, so if they've taken an action we build a list of them, and now we want to show them ads. And often you can do clicks to website, but often I'll do website conversions so that I can see that it's actually working. Say, hey, we got $12 sales, you know, here and that kind of thing, or $7 leads or whatever. So we'll create a website conversion. So we're going to go back into Facebook Ads Manager. We're going to go conversions so create a new campaign. And remember, last time we chose video views, and this time we're going to choose conversions. So we choose conversions, and then here, when we're over in the audiences, so rather than, do you remember like initially we chose that how old they were, what their interests were, what location? You don't need to do any of that this time. We're just saying, okay, if they hit this website in the last 30 days, or if they've been watching at least 25% of our videos or 10% of our videos, these are the folks that we want to show the ads to. And then we're going to show them multiple conversion focused ads. So here we take Advertising Boost example. If they've hit the website or they've watched our videos, then let's show them ads. In this case, it's just like a general one about the returns people are getting. And then this one is about different industries. So what you'll notice actually, if you look at the Advertising Boost example, is when we set up our remarketing, we actually thought through what are the different hooks, what are the different angles that people would either they'd want to know about, or they might have an objection about, or what would help get them over the line, you know, that kind of thing. So you kind of actually got to plan that out, and we have a logical design of like 10 or 12 different angles that we hit with our remarketing. And it really, really works. Some will convert better than others. And it's really about, because remarketing is really about the right message to the right person at the right time. And if you don't have all those three things line up, then you don't get a sale. So that's why we really want to hit the right message. So yeah, here's another one about how you can get a free vacation, or actually two, as an Advertising Boost member. What's crazy about that is just that feature alone is worth more money than your whole Advertising Boost membership, and that's before you've even given away, like a single vacation or attended any trainings like that. So this is why Advertising Boost is really growing so fast, and is the biggest vacation incentives program in the world right now. And then, yeah, so here's another one, about see the demo, like see it in action. So, and we have like eight more of those remarketing. So hopefully that makes sense. If they've hit our website or they've been watching our ads, our video view ads, then we're now going to show them ads on there. So what this whole thing does is it creates perpetual motion. We've taken people who don't know us, had never come across us before. We've shown them we can help them by actually helping them, giving them great value. We've built a list of these people who have either hit our website or have been watching our videos. So we created great value, and then we remarketed to them so that it gets leads and sales. And what we found here, it's like this snowball example, starts off small and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's really, really cool what happens here. And it's very, very cost effective. It's amazing. So this is how you would brand or position your company, or even just get the awareness out there and then convert and close. And you also get this as well. People don't understand, like for remarketing or retargeting, you might only need to set like a $12 a day budget or $15 a day budget, that kind of thing. But most people don't necessarily have the marketing sophistication of you and I. Like most people don't really understand marketing. So they see your brand and then they go, wow, these guys and girls must be massive. I see them everywhere. You know, that kind of thing. So you really are going to have that. They're going to think you're a bigger brand. And remember before we said they actually need multiple touches with your brand before they're ready to buy most of them. So that's where this is, you know, really, really powerful. In Hollywood, they actually have this rule called the rule of three, which is where when they bring out a blockbuster film, they want to hit you across multiple mediums, whether it's, you know, Facebook, YouTube ads, TV ads, billboards at the side of the road, that kind of stuff. So they want to hit you across multiple mediums quickly. So obviously by doing this, you're hitting them on Facebook and also Instagram. Coming up in the months ahead, we can really show you Google I'm a Google Premier Partner and know it. We've managed many, many millions in clicks that way. We can really show you how to do Google at a very, very high level and how to turn it into a cash spewing machine if there's interest in that down the track as well. But that's another medium where you can hit them on YouTube for remarketing, or you can hit them with banner ads as they navigate around the web and that kind of stuff. So we can show you how to make this more and more sophisticated, but we didn't want to make it so complicated that people are like, ah, damn, what do I do? So if we sort of think this through, we really just got to figure out, okay, well, is this strategy for you? Chances are you probably should give this a go, to be honest. And then, because it's very, very low cost and it's very, very highly targeted and it's very, very efficient. And what I've seen where this gets implemented, it really, really can change businesses. Like, it's massive what this can do. So figure out who your target market is, what they really, really want, plan out some good high value content, put it out there as a video blog, do video posts, boost it, do video view ads, and then add in remarketing for if they hit your website or they watch your videos so that they start seeing you again, and you ultimately convert. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Hopefully that made sense. I'll bring the other guys back now, Marco and Andy, if you're around, and they can let me know if there's been any questions, and if anything didn't make sense, I'm happy to go over it again, or help out with any questions that anyone may have. So thank you for that.
Yeah, so Jacqueline is asking, she's saying she's at a point where she can do Facebook ads. What do you suggest for people on a low budget?
If you're on a real low budget, like the very first thing could be just remarketing, adding in remarketing. That is the highest return on investment traffic source you can do. But if you're on a low budget, I would do this, but like maybe set your video views to $10 a day and your remarketing to $5 a day, that kind of thing, so that you're putting value out there, but then you're also converting them.
And really, too, what we found is that the lower the budget, the better the returns. As you start to scale,
yes.
You start to the margins start to go down a little bit. But at low budgets, you really can get some pretty massive returns with Facebook.
For sure. Any others there?
Asking about
organic traffic.
Hard to generate.
Hang on, Marco, I can't hear you properly.
My headset's out.
Oh, no, I think your headset's pointing up at the sky.
Oh, there you go. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, I've been running around here putting out another fire, actually, but we've got through it. So I missed part of your webinar. I'm going to have to go back and watch the video. But from what I caught, it was fantastic. Thanks again. You're welcome. You rock.
Oh, cheers. Does anyone else have any questions? Anything you want to know?
Jacqueline's asking about organic traffic. How about organic traffic?
Okay, so like with that planning, we just planned based off like what's really, really helpful. You could do the exact same thing, but really do the keyword research. So using keyword research tools for organic SEO, whether it's SEMrush or other tools like that to figure out what is the highest organic traffic search terms that are coming up, and then create a video post and a blog post for each one of those, where your keywords goes in your URL, goes in your title, gets peppered throughout your article, that kind of stuff. So you can definitely morph this in with SEO, and it's probably a great way to go. But here I was just really focused on just being really, really helpful. And in some ways, kind of you want to lead with your most awesome stuff, like just put really, really good value out into the world so that people who watch that video and who ultimately end up on your blog say, wow, this guy or girl is great. I could really work with them, or want to see what else they've got, that kind of thing. But definitely does work in with SEO. In this strategy particularly, I focus on most helpful first and then SEO second.